We're having a bit of a shoe and socks.
Oh, just losing it over your socks. I can't wait to rock them. Yo, I need some pairs.
I'm gonna get you some. JoJo, it is so great to have you on Sunrise.
Thank you.
Now this has just come out, Sabotage. It is soulful, it's hip hop, and I'm so excited because it's quite different to Joanna, which was your last release. Tell us a little bit about Sabotage.
Sabotage is the introduction to the sound of my new album, and it's real personal. It started as a freestyle. I wrote and recorded it up in Toronto with Doc McKinney, and it's kind of just a slice of how this album is a lot about processing my feelings, my patterns, and just still going through my 20s and trying to figure it out. So
That's amazing.
And like hip hop is one of the biggest inspirations in my life, so I think you're going to hear that through the album.
And a really fun collaboration as well. Tell me how that came about on this song.
With Chica.
Yeah.
She is so dope, and I followed her actually for a few months before I found out that we were signed to the same label. So Warner just signed her, and she is someone who I think is so exciting. I'm a huge fan of people who really have their own perspective, and especially just a female rapper who has bars like that. I was really, really excited. So I thought she would be a great fit for it. And I just love everything that she posts and everything that she represents. She's bomb.
Oh, it's so great. Now you are known as being, very candid and self-aware, which is, I think, sorely lacking sometimes in popular music. You really, you're not afraid to express where you're at, whether it's beautiful or whether it feels ugly or whatever it is. Why is that so important to you as an artist?
I don't know that it's important to me. It's just who I am. I feel so uncomfortable trying to be perfect. I've tried to do that, and I'm not very good at it. So I think that being candid is just easier for me. So it's not that I'm necessarily this is what I'm trying to do. It's just who I am, and I have to look at myself in the mirror before I go out into the world. So I've done a lot of. I think I've gotten more self-aware as I've gotten older. So
now the song's called Sabotage, and I think the concept of sabotage, in particular self-sabotage, is something that we can all relate to. And you kind of explore it in the context of kind of relationships, romantic relationships. Tell us a little bit about that, because I found it was so honest and so real and relatable.
I started to take a look at my patterns and how I felt unworthy of love, of actually a healthy relationship. I had never really seen one growing up, as a lot of us haven't. So I didn't want to use that as an excuse anymore. So kind of as I was thinking back to this relationship that it was my fault it ended, I was just kind of therapizing myself and thinking about all the stuff that I need to take account for before I get into another relationship. While I was making this album, I was not seeing anyone, not being intimate, and just really getting to know myself in a way that I haven't, because I've been a kind of a serial monogamist, but not the perfect monogamous person.
No one is. Not perfect doesn't exist.
Perfection does not exist. So,
but you hadn't had that kind of break to kind of delve into having a relationship with yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I had learned a lot about myself through the lens of other people, but never solely on my own. And that's what inspired definitely Sabotage, and just being yo, what is up with the choices I'm making in relationships? What's my part in the demise of it? And, damn. It's really just a damn. And thinking back.
So interesting. I guess music is such a great way for people to hear it. It's kind of healing, but also to create it is kind of your own therapy, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You said something about you've always seen yourself kind of through the lens of other people, and that makes so much sense because you started so young. I mean, it's just so incredible. How old were you when you first, you competed in America's Most Talented Kids? How old were you when you were on that show?
That one, I think I was 10 or 11.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's the show that I did before I got signed, before I signed my record deal. So my mom and I moved out from Massachusetts to Los Angeles, and that was my first Wasn't the first show I ever did.
Yeah,
but
how old were you when you did your first show?
I think I was 6.
6 years old.
Yeah.
Now you took a break for almost 10 years previously before Mad Love. What was happening during that period?
That was definitely not an intentional break. So I was in a lawsuit with my first label, and I had to sue to have the right to my voice again. That's stuff that you don't know when you're getting into the music industry, and you think that this is the best possible contract you can get, and you don't know what to look for when your lawyer is telling you that all is well. So I wasn't able to, basically the label was defunct, no longer, didn't have the means to put out my music, but wouldn't let me go. So for years I was fighting against that and trying to find a way to still have my relationship with my fans and feel like I wasn't gonna just not lose myself, because I didn't know who I was if I wasn't able to make music and tour and go out there and do what I've always done. So I thankfully in that 10-year gap was able to tour a little bit and release mixtapes and release one-off songs. Like I did this version of Drake's Marvin's Room that got tens of millions of views on YouTube, and that those things were able to essentially keep me alive and keep my relationship going with my fans.
It's unbelievable to think that someone literally has the right to your voice in some ways. That's so terrifying.
It was disturbing. It was like really hard to understand.
Yeah, from such a young age, and you feel so hard done by the lawyers who are meant to be protecting you. And it happens so often. I mean, Taylor Swift has been in the headlines about kind of re-releasing and re-recording some of her earlier albums. I know you re-recorded and re-released your first 2 albums.
Yes.
Tell me about why you decided to do that, why that was important to you.
Because you can't just erase me. You can't just, pretend like my legacy that I'm building isn't there. So basically my label that I was in the lawsuit with hasn't made any of their artists' music available on streaming. So not only are they missing out on, just having that stuff streamed and obviously making money from it, but it's just when fans go to look for things, they can't find it. It wasn't available. So that was making me mad, and it made me feel out of control to see these comments on Twitter and Instagram and stuff being like, why did you take your music off of, these streaming platforms? And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't, I never would have. I want my fans to have what they want. It's just, it feels so weird not to have that available. So we found a loophole, and I was able to recreate these songs as close to the original version as possible, because it wasn't about reinventing something. It was just about giving my fans what they deserve, which is access to my music, which wasn't out there.
And also a sense of nostalgia, because those songs were important to I think that becomes like the music track to your own life. So when that music goes away, you lose a little bit of your own history as the listener.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it's a nostalgic thing for me too. So when I was like in there recording these songs now as a woman in my 20s, I was like, I actually relate to these songs now, because I was just I was such a fetus.
Now that you're a veteran at 28, which is so crazy, but that's what's so remarkable about your career. Now that you're back in control, not only of your music, but kind of your career and life, where are you at as an artist, but also as a person right now?
I'm just so clear that there's nothing that could stop me or could really derail me. I'm just so laser focused on this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like you can, life will always, the winds can blow at you in a way that you didn't quite expect, but I just feel really grounded and solid, I feel. And really confident with this music that I'm putting out. And now what I'm excited to do is just keep consistent with it. I'll never ever take a 10-year break. Like, that'll never be.
Isn't that so? You're 28, to have a 10-year break it's mind-boggling.
No, it's very strange.
2020 is going to be a big year for you. You've got new music coming out. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect.
I'm so excited for 2020. This is going to be our version of the Roaring 20s. I don't know. I'm just really excited about it. And new decade for me just means so much. I look forward to the newness, and it's going to be a lot of touring the world, going to places that I haven't been in so long and never have been. I'm really looking forward to going to Australia.
Yes.
And
last time you were there, you were 14.
Yeah, I haven't been there since I did Aquamarine. I filmed a movie there. And so this will be my first time
in the Gold Coast.
Going all around, yeah. So it's just going to be connecting with my fans and putting out music and just being as honest as I can be as a singer and a songwriter, because I love that which connects us. Like, I love being human. It really hurts sometimes, but it's really nice to know I'm not alone, and that's what music is for me.
That's what music is for all of us. It's, you find a song that speaks to you, and you're doing that. And I love the variety from Joanna to this and everything that's coming. I love that we could get to go on that kind of journey with you. And
thank you. I love a journey.
Oh my God. Well, it's so great. We can't wait to have you down under. Australia has changed since you were 14.
I bet it has. I can't wait.
But the music's fantastic. You look great. Loving these boots, by the way. They're so exciting. We're having a bit of a shoe and socks.
Oh, just losing it over your socks. I can't wait to rock them. Yo, I need some pairs.
I'm going to get you some.
Okay, thank you.
So great to chat with you, and I can't wait for the fans to kind of rediscover your music and fall in love with you all over again.
Thanks, girl. Appreciate it.
Yay.